Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. So what is going on with Benjamin Sesko? That is the question everyone is asking me on my timeline, everywhere on my socials. What is going on with Benjamin Sesko? In this video, I want us to dive into some of the two latest updates on Benjamin Sesko. One from Fabrizio Romano, confirming yesterday that even Benjamin Sesko doesn't know where he's going to be playing football next season. And one another update that has actually suggested that Benjamin Sesko could actually give us a decision after the Euros, as now he is fully focused with the Slovenian national team. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. I want your thoughts here. Should Arsenal move on from Benjamin Sesko if we don't sign him before the Euros and probably go for a player like Osimhen, who will not be featuring at the Euros, who will not be featuring at the Copa America this summer? I probably say it's not an easy deal, but it's a deal that you could actually get enough time to do because the players available and negotiations could actually take place. So let me know, do you think Arsenal should move on to players like Gyökeres, Osimhen that are not in the Euros if Benjamin Sesko doesn't make a decision nice and early? Let's get this video to 500 likes. So let's start off with what we know on the Benjamin Sesko. Yesterday, Fabrizio Romano on the Here We Go podcast gave us a very strong statement. He said, in the next days, the situation on Benjamin Sesko will be very clear. The player will make a decision on his future. As of today, I can guarantee 100% that not even Sesko himself knows where he will play next season. That is from Fabrizio Romano on the Here We Go podcast. Now, when you hear that and when you listen to that, it gives you a bit of confidence that Arsenal could have a 50-50% chance to get him, as well as to as well as his possibility to stay at RB Leipzig. But I'm not 100% sure a player who wants to move, a player who has made up his mind on not signing a new deal, actually takes this long. And that is why another update, a new update on the Benjamin Sesko deal actually makes a lot of sense. Now, this comes in from a source that I would say are very reliable, and they're saying that Benjamin Sesko at the moment is fully focused with Slovenia. He doesn't want to think about his future right now, and it's going to take more days rather than hours to get that decision away from, to get that decision from the player. So he might want to first complete the Euros, that is end of June, and then we might get a decision from Benjamin Sesko in July. That is a very, very deadly button for Arsenal. Before the Euros, I think Arsenal are okay with that. We are in a very safe mode. Even if he says he doesn't want to sign for us, we move over to the second option. After the Euros, that is deadly because by the time you go into July, you're left with 30 days to the end of the window, first and foremost. But also, in July, clubs will know Arsenal have money to spend on a striker, and we will be desperate. Imagine not getting Sesko, and that is maybe 10th or 20th July. You're left with a few days to the closure of the window, maybe 1 month, and you go into to sign Victor Osimhen in Napoli. They're going to say, you have the money, first and foremost, and you need a striker. He's your top priority. You just failed to get your number one target. Therefore, you pay up the money. We are going to be exploited, and we might be a little bit, I think, bullied in negotiations. That is the word I'm looking for. We might be bullied in negotiations if we miss out on Sesko and go in late for our second target. So this is what I'm going to say about this, first and foremost. If Arsenal don't get a decision from Benjamin Sesko before the Euros, we should move on, right? We should move on and go to our second target. That could be Victor Gyökeres. That could be, Osimhen. That could be Boniface. I don't care who it is. As long as we have a second target that the club feel he can do the same job as Benjamin Sesko. Sesko goes into the Euros and he's not actually giving us, a decision. We walk away. It's as simple as that. So what could happen in both scenarios? Let's talk about it. First and foremost, let's talk about Fabrizio Romano's scenario. So Fabrizio still says next days, right? And of course, next days means something different. Next days could be the next 7 days, which is a week. Next days could be the next 10 days. Next days could be the next 20 days. So Romano is playing very, very smart cards here. He doesn't want to commit that the decision is going to come this week. he doesn't want to commit that the decision is going to come before the Euros or after the Euros. Now, he's already told us that all parties involved want a decision before the Euros. So I'm still banking on that information because it comes in from Romano, a more reliable source, a more reliable transfer updater as compared to my second source, which is actually not as reliable. But I'll tell you why I think that second source has a very good point. So with Romano, he says decision coming in the next days. That's not bad. He also says that the player doesn't know where he's going to play next season. And that is what I don't understand. That is what I don't understand. When he says that not even Sesko knows where he's going to play next season, what does that mean? Does that mean that he's not the one to make the decision? Does that mean that they're still exploring all the options, including Leipzig, Arsenal, and some of the other clubs we do not know? Are they really seriously considering more than Arsenal? It opens up a big world of debate, and it opens up a big world of imagination. So for me, I think Arsenal should tell Sesko and his camp, if you don't give us a decision before the first game at the Euros, we are walking away. And by the time you're done with playing your 3 games in the Euro tournament, we're actually going to be pressing on with our second target. I don't think we should threaten. I don't think we should set deadlines and ultimatums. I think we should make sure that we are respected in this scenario. If a player takes this long to decide, that means that he's more likely to stay rather than go. If he was going to go, we would have already seen it. We would have already seen the decision right from the start. We would be hearing reports like Leipzig want to keep him, but the player thinks he's ready to move on and he wants to go. The fact that up until now he appreciates Arsenal, he loves the Arsenal project, but he has not made up his mind whether he's leaving or staying, that communicates to me that he might want to stay rather than leave at the moment. So for Fabrizio Romano's update, I respect him very much and I like him very much, but at the moment, I don't think we are just going to hear from him in a couple of days. It might be after the Euros, which takes me to my second update about Sesko, which says that the player wants more time. He's going to take more days. He's going to take more time for himself to decide whether he's going to be leaving RB Leipzig or going to the Premier League. So for me, what I don't understand is, why is it so difficult and what is so difficult? Is it difficult to make up your mind that you love Leipzig and therefore you want to stay there for 1 year? Is it difficult for you to make a decision that the Leipzig project right now is the right project for you and therefore you want to stay? Or is it difficult for you to make a decision that at the moment, right, you think the Arsenal project is ripe for you and you're ready for it and you can challenge? Where exactly is the problem? Because that is what I want to understand. Where exactly is the problem with Ben Sesko's decision? Is the problem that he feels the decision is too quick? Is the problem that he still wants to stay at RB Leipzig, but Arsenal have offered him a very good offer? Or is the problem that Arsenal have given him a good offer, but Leipzig have given him a good offer as well? I don't understand where the confusion is. I don't understand why he would take a long time like this. For me, in most cases, if a player does this and you are the club that actually want to sign him, you're more likely not to get him as compared to him leaving. So I see him as a player who is contemplating much about staying rather than leaving. I think he wants to stay, but he's looking at this Arsenal opportunity, this Chelsea opportunity, this Man United opportunity as very good opportunities. And it's like, oh, this is a very good opportunity. I might actually take it up. But at the moment, he doesn't feel sure and he doesn't feel ready to leave RB Leipzig, where he's guaranteed starter. It was a guaranteed starter next season. He's the star of the project next season. That all has been promised. And also he has UCL. So maybe that is where the problem is. Now, the problem for Arsenal in all this is being left in the middle and you don't get him and time is wasted. That is what Arsenal have always done in the past with Karim Benzema, Gonzalo Higuain, Thomas Lemar. You remember all those bastards that we were trying to sign? They wasted our time. Benzema wasting our time. Higuain wasting our time. Luis Suarez, we wasted a whole window on Luis Suarez. Thomas Lemar at Monaco, we wasted a whole transfer window on those clowns. What I don't want is that to happen. What Arsenal have done in the last 3 years has been impeccable in terms of striking transfers. We have been absolutely top and impeccable. Whatever we have done has always been spot on. If we landed Declan Rice for 100 million, if we landed Gabriel Jesus, if we landed Alexander Zinchenko, if we have signed players from Premier League proven clubs, Premier League proven players with a lot of quality and experience, I think Benjamin Sesko is joking. I think he is undermining us, because this is the worst case scenario. Okay, let's look at both scenarios. The best case scenario is he waits, but Arsenal still get him. That is the best case scenario. He waits and waits and waits after the Euros, and then after the Euros, he makes up his mind and is like, I am ready. I am going to go to Arsenal. So Arsenal trigger the release clause. And we are told only one club is going to trigger the release clause. That is the club that Benjamin Sesko will tell, I want to sign for you. So at the moment, no club is triggering the release clause. So the best case scenario is that Arsenal are told, we are going to sign for you. We have accepted all your terms and conditions. Trigger the release clause. That would be okay. But the worst case scenario is what I'm actually concerned about. Because the worst case scenario is where Arsenal wait until July. Victor Gyökeres is more convinced about staying, right? Or Victor Gyökeres is signed by another club. Osimhen is signed by another club. And all the good strikers are taken. And then Sesko scratches his head and he says, I want to stay. That is the worst case scenario. That is the worst case scenario. Because if he does that, where does it leave Arsenal? This is where it leaves us. One, that means that whatever happens with the Sesko situation, we don't have a striker. Second, it means that Arsenal could have lost out on their second option. Obviously, we know that we want Joshua Zirkzee, but you look at the speed with which Milan are working on the Joshua Zirkzee deal. So we are not getting Joshua Zirkzee. Why? Because we are confident and we are pressing on Benjamin Sesko. So if Sesko waits and we wait and Joshua Zirkzee is gone and Gyökeres is gone and Osimhen is gone and he says, no, I'm not leaving, where do Arsenal go from there? That means we go another summer where we don't sign a striker that we want, and therefore we proceed to another summer, another season where we don't have a striker. That is the worst case scenario, and that is what I'm scared about on this deal. Now, do I think he's likely to stay or likely to move to Arsenal? Now, again, think about it. Would really Arsenal wait until July if they don't have all the green signs that he's going to join us? I don't see Arsenal as that club anymore. Like the Benzema thing, Arsene Wenger and your clowns, go to hell. The Gonzalo Higuain thing, Arsene Wenger and your clowns for making us wait for a whole summer, and the guy doesn't come, go to hell. And whatever skits Arsenal played on our brains. Thomas Lemar is signing this summer. Who else? Tell me. In the past, strikers, players that we were, looking to sign, and they eventually never came. We spent a whole summer waiting for them, and they didn't come. Right? Go to hell, man. Go to hell. So I don't think Arsenal are that club anymore. Under Mikel Arteta and Edu, what we have seen is that Arsenal are very intentional on what they do and with what they do. Most cases, if they wait on the player, if they are locked onto a player, it means the player is either locked onto a move to Arsenal or they are feeling confident they can persuade him to join them. So the Benjamin Sesko situation right now, I don't think it's just about a decision delay. I think it's about Arsenal being very confident that we will get him. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. It's also about Leipzig feeling he might stay. They've given him a good deal. Doesn't mean he will sign them. He will sign it. It means that the deal they have offered him is good enough to make RB Leipzig confident that he is actually going to be their player next season. So where do I see this end up? I think 51% Arsenal gets him. This is the problem Leipzig are going to face, right? This is the problem Leipzig are going to face. The problem Leipzig are going to face is you have a player that is really in love with Arsenal, and you have an Arsenal side that are massively better than you, and you have a release clause. So the only chance that RB Leipzig keep him is that release clause. That's the only chance that they keep him. By the time we get to the end of June, I bet Slovenia will be out of the Euros. So that also means that Arsenal can get him even after the Euros. I don't see how Leipzig keep him, but that deal, that lucrative deal, it puts them at 49 or not, or if not 50%, the same level as Arsenal. So let's wait and see what happens.